Hey, what's up, everybody? Chicago Goonie here, bringing another Arsenal talk. Within this Arsenal talk, I'll be going over the West Ham game, and of course, a little bit of a preview of the Monaco game on Tuesday. Going into the West Ham game, uh, we were looking for another response after the Man United win, the FA Cup tie. We're looking for another response, another added confidence going into this game, and they showed it. I mean, if from start to finish, it was kind of like all out attack. When we need to defend, we'll defend. We're still even well organized defending wise. West Ham, I mean I mean, did they even bother showing up today? The possession stats are they're pretty much a joke as far as 68% towards us and then 32% towards West Ham, and honestly I don't know where the 32% even came from. I mean, just from watching the game, it just seemed like they had maybe 25% of possession of the game. I mean, it was just I just didn't really understand. Here's a team in West Ham who early on in the season, the first half of the season, they were super dangerous and they were firing on all cylinders, and they're in the top four, and you were really thinking that they could challenge for at least a Europa League spot at the end of the season. And now they're looking, they've dropped a lot of games, a lot of points over the last couple months, and now they're down in 10th. They went from 4th to 10th, and they just can't even scrape a point or even win a game right now. I think they're the last like 13 or 14 games. I think they have something like 11 losses and 3 draws against Arsenal. So it's definitely a club that we love to play, whether it's home or away. The only oddity of playing West Ham is it seems like we always let them score early on. And then all of a sudden we kind of wake up and we just take the game over, and we actually end up winning. But in today it was kind of like the complete opposite. We were dangerous right from the start. We wanted to play our game, play a complete game. I know some fans are saying it wasn't a great performance, but if you really look at it, of all the chances that we had, and just the passing alone, I mean, Olivier Giroud easily the man of the match. I mean, his passing today was on point. I mean, he was the best player on the pitch today, from start to finish. I mean, he was so clinical in everything that he was doing, finishing wise. I mean, that first goal, just the passing sequences too, and every single goal was just it was lovely to see. It was just like the Arsenal that you want to see, just to have a complete game. But they didn't really need to have a complete game to win this game, because West Ham just didn't even really bother to show up. They had one chance in the first half, um, which was like a volley. That it was right at Ospina. Looking at it, watching it on TV, you thought, oh my God, that was a great save. But looking at it on the replay, it was right out at Ospina. Ospina was, but you have to give him props for being positioned well on his line, staying on his line, not coming out, not getting all crazy, kind of like Chesney does sometimes. And you have to give him credit. But throughout the entire rest of the match, I mean, Ospina could have set up a campfire, ate some s'mores, sing Kubaya, even take a nap if he wanted to. I mean, that's how uninspiring West Ham was today. I saw after the game that the West Ham assistant manager did the interview. Jabba the Hutt didn't want to do the interview for whatever reason, and he said they came out in the second half, firing on all cylinders. And I kind of sat there. I was like, did you watch the same game I did? Because it just didn't seem that way at all. It was never. You were always hoping for Arsenal to nick that second goal and just like kill the game pretty much. Um, because you're one nil up. There's always a chance. There's always a chance on a set piece or whatever. But West Ham was just completely uninspiring today. It shows in the stats as well. I mean, they have seven shots, one on target. That one on target was the one I just talked about with Ospina. We had 19 shots, nine on target. Of course, three goals. Um, we had eight corners to their five, and then possession stats, like I said, is 68% for us, 32% for them. Adrian, I mean, he made some crazy saves today. Of all the chances that we did have going in, throughout the entire game, I mean, it was just like chance after chance, and um, you know, unfortunately for Theo Walcott, he didn't really make a great case for himself to get more playing time. Of course, with the Ox out, of course he will get more playing time, but of course there's Danny Welbeck as well that you can insert into the starting 11. Of course, with Welbeck, he will track back. He will play more defensive. You saw that a little bit more of Theo today, where he did play a little bit more defensive today when he needed to. He makes great runs. He's going to be always dangerous trying to get behind. Of course, we need players like that, obviously, to make those type of runs. But his finishing is just, I mean, what he was thinking about on that first attempt within the first minute or two in the game. I think he was trying to get cute and try to chip the keeper. And you know, Adrian's been, he's one of the reasons why um, West Ham is where they are, especially in the first half of the season. He's been playing lights out for West Ham. And, when you're trying to get into the side, when you're trying to get into the starting 11, when you're trying to get back in the starting 11, when you're trying to prove to the manager that you deserve a new contract, you deserve to get paid more money, um, there's no time and place to get cute. Just finish the ball. He had all the time in the world too to finish that ball. It should have been a penalty. Collins came over and clipped him like right on. He tried to nick the ball, but he clipped him, and Theo went down, and it should have been a PK. Another missed opportunity there by the referee once again from the FA, and it should have been a PK, but it should have never happened in the first place. You shouldn't get too cute with the ball, and you should just be a goal scorer and put it in the back of the net instead of trying to be cute. And especially where Theo is right now, he needs to prove himself. Because as it stands right now, the way it looks right now, of course Sanchez is above him. If Ox is fully healthy, he would be above him in the team sheet. Also, I mean, you can even put Danny Welbeck up there too, just because of his work rate and how dangerous he is as well. So Theo has to really start proving himself, and with all these contract talks too, as well going on. I saw a tweet today that's saying that Theo Walcott might be the highest paid player on Arsenal. After his contract, when he renews his contract, which is that. I mean, it's kind of crazy to me that they're gonna give him that much money. I know a lot of players are doing that around the BPL now. That with all the new TV contracts coming up and all the money, the extra money that the clubs are making. Of course, with all the new commercial deals that Arsenal is making, players can start going to clubs, especially like Arsenal, who didn't have much money, for that 9-year run. Now they can start saying, you know what, I want to make, a little bit more money, but making him the highest paid player, it, given the fact that he was out for almost the entire year last year, is a little ridiculous. Because right now he can't even start. I don't know if they're, in a little bit of a way, I'm thinking that with Theo, it's just kid gloves right now. He did come back from ACL injury. They don't want to rush him back. Maybe. I mean, that's the thinking that I'm having of what Arsene Wenger's trying to do with Theo, of not trying to rush him back and not trying to put too much on his plate. And you've seen it with past players. I mean, you've seen it with Aaron Ramsey even this year, where they say he's ready, and it would have been nice to just give him another week, possibly, for instead of rushing him back all the time, and it seems like you rush him back, they get injured again. So but with an ACL injury, you do want to really use kid gloves sometimes, and just save the player from himself. Yeah, Theo probably thinks he's ready, and he's ready to play, and he wants to play, and he wants to start, he wants to play a lot of minutes, but at the same time, sometimes you have to protect a player from himself. But with these contract talks, and having him be the possible highest paid player is kind of ridiculous. I find that hard to believe. I could see. I think he makes about 100,000 pounds a week right now. I can see him asking for maybe 125 current, right now. But you know, if he gets something around 170,000 pounds a week, that's kind of ridiculous for someone who can't get in the starting can't get in the starting 11, who has been injured for a better part of a year, who's out injured better part of the year. I mean, even before he got his ACL injury, he was out for what, 2 or 3 months with a abdominal problem that he had last year. I think he got hurt in the Marseille game, Champions League. I think it was the very first game as well, and he got hurt on, and then he was out for like 2 or 3 months. And how can you really pay that guy that much money? I love Theo. He's my favorite player on the team. I want to see him do well, but trying to give him that much money is kind of ridiculous. Because I think Ozil is the highest paid player. I think he makes 160,000 pounds a week. I think Sanchez makes around the same thing. I think he makes 150 to 160 as well. So paying Theo possibly 165, 170 is, can Arsenal afford it? Sure, they can. But again, Theo might be hamstringing toward the club. Arsenal is the type of club where they don't want to pay out that huge money. Of course, it kind of holds us back from really competing in Champions League, maybe really even competing in the league. But at the same time, they try to do smart business moves. And I just hope that Theo looks at past players like a Cesc Fabregas or even Robin van Persie, and really see that the grass isn't greener on the other side. I know players, they're going to try to get max money. They're going to try to get as much money as they possibly can for their future, so they can, once they retire, they don't have to work ever again. Stuff like that. I mean, I understand that point, but at the same time, you can't hamstring a club. You can't hold them hostage, because that's just bad reputation right there. That's just something that I hate seeing from players, whether in any sport, especially with football. And Theo should know better than anybody on that Arsenal team that if you end up leaving, you're going to be hated by millions upon millions of fans, and it's not going to it's going to end ugly. And that's something that as a player, you just don't want. You want to be remembered. You want to have a home once you retire. You want to go back to maybe a certain club that you spent most of your great years with. And sometimes players, they just get, their egos are just bigger than themselves, and sometimes you have to pop them. So I hope at the end Theo signs a new contract. I hope it's reasonable. I could see him paying 125,000. That's more than enough. Put a bunch of incentives on there as well, especially with playing incentives, as because of his injuries, past injuries. But that's all I'll say about that. But going into the goals, I mean, the goals were just beautiful today. Typical Arsenal. I mean, typical beautiful football. One-touch passing. That first goal by Olivier Giroud, started by Mesut Ozil. It was just Mesut Ozil, Giroud, back to Mesut Ozil, Aaron Ramsey. Giroud making a cut in. I mean, that finish was great. A lot of pace on that ball. Hit the far post. Ringed in. I mean, it was something that we desperately needed too, because we just had so many chances in the first half, and we just couldn't finish. The passing was there all day long. You just saw it. It was just one-touch passing all over the place. West Ham didn't have any clue what they were doing, especially defensively. They really couldn't defend for shit. And that first goal was just typical Arsenal. It was just a great goal by Giroud. Great understanding between Ozil, Giroud, Ramsey. I mean, it was just beautiful. And it was something we needed to go into halftime because again, it was 0-0. We had plenty of chances. We didn't look tired at all at any point in time. It wasn't that. It wasn't being overconfident. It wasn't being we're gonna you know we should win this game and we're gonna we already won this game in the dressing room type of deal, kind of like what we did in Monaco, against Monaco at least. It wasn't anything like that. We just couldn't finish in the first half, other than the Olivier Giroud goal. But it was beautiful. Second goal, like I said, we were always trying to get that second goal to just kill off the game because West Ham just wasn't doing anything. But again, you're only up 1-0. You fell asleep on you fall asleep on a set piece or anything like that, or a corner, any type of set piece. They nick a goal for somehow, some way. But defensively we were great again. But that second goal by Aaron Ramsey, the understanding, it was a throw-in. West Ham wasn't prepared. They were trying to complain to the referee, but I mean, it's a throw-in. I don't know how they weren't set up or anything like that. I mean, Drew had a beautiful dummy coming off the throw-in by Cullum Chambers. Again, the understanding between him and Aaron Ramsey, and just the one-touch passing, and just the finishing. Aaron Ramsey, that was a like kind of like a goal even that you saw from last year. It kind of almost had that kind of marking of the FA Cup final, the final goal almost. But again, it was just another one-touch passing, a great understanding between two players, and Giroud's passing all day was just on point. And like I said, he was the best player on the pitch today. He was holding up the ball, passing the ball. I think he had getting his teammates involved and just understanding his teammates and what he has to do as a striker. Like I said, just a great striker. Again, he's not world class, but he's in that second tier. I don't care what anybody says. He's in that second tier, and he's just one of the hardest workers as a striker that you'll see in the world. And of course, the third goal, well, just like in the Manchester United game, the most unlikely source coming in and getting a goal, Matthew Fellaini. Coming in for Mesut Ozil, Sanchez got subbed out, Ozil got subbed out. Resting players from Monaco, obviously. The game was in hand. It was 2-0. Of course, Ozil came out for Flamini, and Santi came in as well. It was just that whole sequence was just kind of like again, typical Arsenal one-touch passing between, started by Danny. I think it was started by Nacho. Well, no, Welbeck made a run, passed to Monreal. Monreal then between Welbeck and Santi. Again, the one-touch passing, the understanding. Seeing that from Welbeck, you're starting to see that he's finally settling in. He's finally starting to understand the system and what players can and can't do, what players want to do. And again, the one-touch passing, setting up Santi crossing it over. West Ham, no clue what they were doing. Flamini coming in far post, and it was probably the easiest goal of his life. And see him get on the score sheet, great. Coming off as a sub, making the game 3-0. Like I said, all game we had chances going up all the way into the last second of the game. They were still trying to nick a goal. Santi was pushing forward, Welbeck was pushing forward, everybody was pushing forward, trying to get that fourth goal, and that's what we need. We need that killer instinct, especially going into this next game. But to continue on with the West Ham and the stats that I saw today, a bunch of Arsenal fans kept on posting this today, over the last couple days at least. Conklin again was fucking everywhere. He was intercepting the ball. He was killing the West Ham attack before it even started. The one thing I love about him is his instincts of when to make a sliding tackle and when not to. when he can get there when he can't. That was like the big thing too with Arteta. His Arteta will just dive down just for the hell of it to try to make a sliding tackle and to try to get the ball away. And he always misses. It seems like his conversion rate of sliding tackles is horrible compared to Coughlin. And the stat, and I'll post it on the screen. I posted something about this like before the Man United game of of his stats, but it goes a little bit more into detail. Without Coughlin, we played 15 games, won 6, 5 draws, 4 losses, goals conceded 18, winning percentage 40%, which is awful, and points per game 1.5, which is awful as well. That was in the beginning of the year when, again, we were playing shitty tactics. We had no idea what we were doing. We had no real kind of scoring threats other than Alexis Sanchez. Yeah, Danny Welbeck banged in some goals here and there, but other than that, it was just shitty tactics. It was, again, horrible. With Coughlin coming into the second half of the season, 13 games, 10 or now it's 14 games, because this is before the West Ham game. So some of the stats might be different, but it won't be that much different. But it'll be 14 games, 11 wins, 1 draw, 2 losses. Goals conceded only 12. Of course, we had a clean sheet today, and winning percentage, and that'll be up a little bit. It was at least according to the stats, and I'll put them up. I'm sure everybody's seen them, but we'll put them up. Yeah, I'll put them up anyway. Winning percentage 76.9%. Points per game 2.4. Again, I made a tweet out. I'll just keep on saying it that this kid is going to save us like 30 or 40 million pounds over the summer. Because honestly, I mean, right now, can you find a real reason to go out there and buy a world-class DM right now? If depending on who is available, say Schweinsteiger is available, or maybe like a Tony Cruz or something, or maybe like a Yaya Toure, maybe a younger version of Yaya Toure somewhere, or a Matic or something like that. Maybe I could see that, maybe, but other than that, I mean, who's really outperforming them? I mean, I know a lot of people say Pogba, but Pogba's now becoming one of the best box-to-box CMs in the world. So he's not, he plays defensive, obviously, and he's great defensively, but he's more of a CM than he is a DM. But with Coughlin, I mean, he's just, the kid never stops. I mean, just when, he makes I saw today, in the game, he made something like a 40, 50-yard run to try to hold up the ball, hold up the attack of West Ham. And you would think after making a run like that, that he would be a little gassed, that he needs to catch his breath. No, he just keeps on fucking running. The kid never stops. I mean, it's just insane. The athletic ability that he does have. Yeah, he is not the fastest player, but the stamina that he possesses and his intelligence, and I mean, I can just go on. And at the end of the season, when I kind of do my best players and player of the year and stuff, I'm going to be talking about him a lot at the end of the season, because the season's not over, and it's just he again, it's just my opinion. He's the reason why we're doing what we're doing right now. Again, the stats don't lie. I mean, the stats are right there, and the stats don't lie. But going into the Monaco game, I know there's not a whole lot of hope. I know a lot of people don't have hope. People don't think we can, do the business. That Monaco will, we might nick a couple goals, but we'll come up short. That's the common, that's the common excuse right now. That's that. I was there. I was at the Monaco game. Again, just a complete shit show by Arsenal. The intelligence of Arsenal that day was horrible. Like I said, once the Ox scored that first goal, it was 2-1. There was no need for us to attack anymore. There was no need for us to get crazy and try to even equalize the game, because it was an injury time by that time. And I'd rather go to Monaco only needing 2 goals rather than 3 goals. And of course, Monaco nicked that goal at the end, and that was just a dagger in the heart. That last one, because then you're thinking, oh, holy shit, we have to score 3 goals. We have to, some way, somehow, we have to score 3 more goals than they do um, by the time of the final whistle. So there's not much hope. I remember sitting there in my hotel room trying to figure out, what did I just see? What did I just witness? Because it was just horrible from start to finish. But as time goes on, you start to really think, that was a paradox. You know, I'm going to give Monaco all the credit in the world for playing their best game, but that was their best game. For one time a year, that was their best game that they probably played the entire season, and that's probably the best game that they'll play for the rest of the season. It was a paradox. It only happens once in a while. Given the fact that you match up the team sheets, you can't compare. You just match up the experience. You can't compare. Is there hope? Yes, there is. In my opinion, I think we're going to win. I think we're going to win 3-0. I think we can win 4-0. I think we can win 5-0. I think we can win 4-1, 5-1. It doesn't matter. I think we can do it. We have the talent. We have the ability to do it. But a lot's going to have to come into play for that to happen. Yeah, we need a little bit of luck on our side. Um, this game is about talent. It's about quality. But again, you need a little luck on your side. That's what Monaco had in that first leg. They had all the bounces. They had everything going their way. They had all the luck in the world for that game. Everything that they wanted to happen happened. We were off our game. We didn't have any clue what we wanted to do. We had no ideas. We had no ideas going forward. It was just all wrong for us. Everything that could go wrong went wrong. In a nutshell. But this game's going to be a little bit different, I think. Like I said, going to Old Trafford, winning there, 2-1, coming back home. The old Arsenal. I'll put in just give an example here. The old Arsenal, after a shitty game like that, they would come out the next game and they would pretty much play like shit again because confidence just wasn't there between the players. There wasn't enough leadership to get the players to rise up and be better than what they were. That was the old Arsenal. It's a different team the second half of the season. Yeah, we've had some losses. We lost to Southampton. We lost to, of course, Monaco. Uh, but the legs afterwards, you watched. You were always looking for a response after that Monaco game, and you saw a response. You saw a response from the players in the Everton game. You saw a response in the second half of the QPR game. You saw a response. Going to Old Trafford, I think these players know what exactly they did on Monday night to go to Old Trafford, regardless of how good or poor Man United is. That's the toughest ground to go to and win at. You saw last year. They lost more games. It was 21, 22 years ago that they lost that many games at Old Trafford. So it's a tough place for any team, any club to go to and win, especially being an FA Cup tie, a Monday night game. The house was rocking. The away fans were great, but again, that was a game that can give the confidence to these players to come out and play their best game, and to have that kind of confidence to go to Monaco and win and get the necessary amount of goals to push forward and qualify for the next round, to qualify for the quarterfinals. I think we can do it. We have enough. We have enough talent. Like I said, we need our bounces to go our way. You saw it today. Look, West Ham has been one of the kind of shockers of the season, and we manhandled them. We dominated them. Yes, it was at home, but who gives a shit? We did what we were supposed to do, and when you look at some of the players of who's in form, Giroud's in form, Ozil's in form, Santi's in form, Sanchez, he's kind of coming back into form after his little bit of like a little bit of a hiccup, a little bit of tired legs, I guess you can say. Um, and of course, with Danny Welbeck coming off a goal, the game-winning goal of Manchester United, he's going to be his confidence is going to be high. The one thing that's going to be interesting to see is the team sheet. Who's going to be starting? Who's not going to be starting? Honestly, I'm going to post a picture here right now of who I think our starting 11 should be. We need 3 goals. We need 3 more goals than they do in the game. Whether we win 4-1, 3-0, 5-2. I mean, it's what we need. I know you're looking at this right now and you're saying, well, where's Coughlin? We need as many attacking players as possible, and we need to play. I think we need to play a back 3. I think we should just minus the fullbacks completely, because we need as many attacking players and many goal scorers on the pitch as possible in this game, because we just need to go after it from the first whistle. We can't. I mean, honestly, I think we should play 2 strikers up front, because when you're going against a team who's going to park the bus for 90 minutes, they're really going to park the bus. I mean, it's going to be all 11 behind the ball, pretty much the entire fucking game. I think we definitely need to score within the first 10 minutes of the game for the guys to give themselves confidence that we can do this. But again, this is going to be my starting 11. I think we should play a back 3, whether it's a 3-5-2 or it's a 4-3 or what's a 3-4-3. Whether they do something like that, again, we need as many attacking players on the pitch, as many goal scorers on the pitch as possible. Again, Ospina is going to be a goalkeeper. Back 3, you could put Chambers back there, but I think Monreal, because he has played center half, and plus he has that little bit of extra pace to try to track back. Because again, there's going to be no Coughlin, at least in my starting 11. You're going to have Monreal, Koscielny, as your back 3. Of course, playing in front of them will be Ramsey and Santi, and of course Sanchez, Ozil, Walcott, and of course your strikers as Welbeck and Giroud. I think this is what we need to do. If we want to go after, we can't just play 1 striker up top. That's just my opinion. And if we do play 1 striker up top, Sanchez and Walcott have to really just give as much support to Giroud as possible. And we can't worry. The reason why you don't see Coughlin in this team is because of the fact that we can't worry about getting caught on the break. We can't worry about getting caught on the counterattack, because we don't have that option. We don't have that luxury in this game. We're down 3 goals, 3 away goals. We need to win 3-0. We need to win 4-1. However you look at it. With this lineup, with this many attacking players, with this type of talent, we should be able to scrape that. We should be able to get that. Yeah, Monaco is good defensively. They're well organized. I mean, even in the first game, they didn't play with their entire back 4 was all backup players. So they're going to have. I'm pretty sure they're going to have all 4 of their original back 4 playing in this game, which is fine. I don't really care. We shouldn't have to worry about what they're going to do. They should have to worry about what we're going to do. Again, if we can nick a goal in the first 10 minutes, that's going to give all the players confidence that we can do this. You look at past game. Anything can happen in this game. A sending off can happen for Monaco because sometimes they do play a little physical. Something like that could happen. I mean, you saw what Bayern Munich did to Shakhtar. After that sending off 7-0, I mean, they destroyed them. You saw what Schalke did at the Bernabeu to Real Madrid. They almost won that leg because they went after it. They just said, fuck it, we don't even care about defensively. We're just going to go after it. We have enough talent to push forward. Real Madrid is kind of hurting in the back right now as far as defensively goes, and they went after it. That's the mentality we have to have. We have to not give a shit about getting caught on the break. And I think if you play a back 3 of Monreal, Koscielny, and we can do that because you have a back 3 just sitting back. Of course, Monreal, I'm sure he can push forward every now and then, obviously. that's why I say, fuck the fullbacks completely. Other than maybe Monreal. I mean, you could put Chambers in there, but I wouldn't put him in there. I would just put Monreal in there. Of course, with Ramsey pushing forward, Santi pushing forward, Ozil and Ramsey and Santi could just boss that midfield. Unlike what we did in the first leg. The first leg, every time that Santi and Ozil seemed like they got on the ball, everybody was kind of like a statue. No one moved. No one made runs, other than Giroud, obviously. Um, but with this, I mean, they can just boss that midfield, and you're going to still have people on the bench to bring in like a Riziki and those guys, maybe even an Akpom if you desperately need another goal scorer or anybody of that nature, and plus later in the game, let's say we go up 3-0. There's 10 minutes left in the game. You sub off Santi or you sub off Ramsey and you put in Coughlin, and then that just solidifies the back line. Obviously, that's not going to happen, unfortunately, because he sat Bellerin today. Um, you know, for the Monaco, but he sat a lot of guys. Gibbs got sat. There's uh, who else got sat? Santi would, Santi came late in the game. Obviously, Welbeck came late in the game for subs, but I think this is the tactics that we have to do. We have to play, whether we play like a 4-4-2 or I just don't think we can play one striker up top and be successful against a well organized defensive team like that. Because I think Welbeck and Giroud working together up top, I mean they could really hold the ball up. I mean, Ospino is gonna have two target guys to aim at to try to hold the ball up and really get behind that defense. I mean, Welbeck can get behind. That'll help Giroud out. That'll open up Giroud even more. Given the form of Giroud, hopefully he'll be able to finish this time. But this is what I would love to see going into that Monaco game because I think we can do it. Again, we have the talent to do it. 3 goals, I mean away goals. It's not like we're going into the Bernabeu or we're going into Camp Nou or any of those places. I mean, Monaco holds fucking what, like 14,000. We're gonna have like 3 or 4,000 there of our own fans. So I mean, you're only gonna hear, we'll probably outsing them again. Um, our away fans are amazing. It's going to come down to that. Our away fans just going to have to put as much, emphasis, as much energy into the game as possible. And of course they're going to do that because our away fans are just amazing. Uh, but again, if we nick that first goal, that's going to give the confidence to the players. We nick a second goal in the first half. That's going to start asking questions to Monaco players. They're going to start asking questions of themselves. They're going to start, their focus is going to get, it's like, oh, holy shit, are we going to really, dog this game, or are we going to really lose this game? And, that's what we need to do. We need to kill their confidence because right now they're probably still confident. They're probably, they're almost like us right now. Going into that first leg, we're like, yeah, it's Monaco. We're going to go through to the quarterfinals pretty easily. Right now, they're thinking, oh, there's no way that they're gonna be able to score 3 goals against us and go through to the next round. But again, we had the talent to do it. We're on, other than the Man City game, this is, the biggest confidence, the huge confidence that we have right now within ourselves. Again, Santi in form, Ozil in form, Giroud in form, Sanchez, always world class. Theo making those great runs. Welbeck, using his pace, using his strength, and using his work rate. I mean, and Ramsey, Ramsey scored today too as well. He could be coming back into form. He can be coming back into his best, hopefully. I think he needs to shave that fucking beard, but that's just another topic for another day. But again, if we really want to go after it, we really want to win this game. I think this is the lineup, this is the setup that we have to really do to really break them down because you put 2 strikers up top. Those center halves are worrying about one single player instead, or two, single players of their own rather than just one player. When you're only worrying about one striker, your 2 center halves can just surround them and suffocate them. You put 2 strikers up top, then you're asking questions, then you're really making them defend that much harder. You're making the goalkeeper work that much harder, and you're making the back 4 completely work that harder. And again, we just have to go after it, and I think we will. I don't know. I've always been thinking this, ever since a couple days after the game, after seeing the game, that we're going to win this. I think we will. A lot of people don't have that type of confidence. I don't think a lot of people are saying, we can, but will we? That kind of attitude. I think we will. I think we're going to go on to the quarterfinals. I think we're going to be playing at least two more games in the Champions League after this game on Tuesday. Hopefully they will. I don't know what they're doing travel wise. Hopefully they'll leave tonight, or they're maybe even on their way, or they're even there right now, because it is a Tuesday game. So if they travel tonight, they get their rest in. Maybe they do a light training session tomorrow, or tactical training. Do a light training session on Monday, obviously, and then just really try to focus and think of what they really have to do. Because again, I think the confidence is there. I think their mind is right. I think they realize, it's the end of the season. We're still in this. 3 goals. Yeah, it's a tough mountain to climb, but they can do it. I really believe that. And I mean, how great would that be? I mean, how awesome would that be if we can do that? Being the last EPL team in the competition, the one team that's going to hold up the EPL a little bit, because right now it's kind of embarrassing, honestly. I mean, Everton is like the only kind of like hope that the EPL has in Europe right now, and that's the Europa League. But who gives a fuck about that? So Arsenal could be that team. It's beautiful, especially of all the shit that we gave Chelsea this past week. Of them getting knocked out of the Champions League. I mean, this would be the icing on the cake. I mean, this would just be amazing to win this and just go on to the next round and hold that middle finger up just a little bit longer to those fucking rent boys. And it's going to be a great game. It's going to be entertaining. I think it's going to be at the edge of your seat type of shit. I think it might even go down to the last closing seconds. And hopefully we pull it out, and I think we will. If we don't, I'll cover that later. But I'm just gonna stand tall and say we will do this, and we will win this game. So just have some confidence, enjoy the game, and leave your comments down below. Can we win? Do you think we can win? And give your comments about today's game, about West Ham game, and what can we do for the rest of the season, because fucking Man City they took a shit today against Burnley. 1-0 late game. I mean, it was hilarious. I was watching the game when I got back home from the Arsenal game today, because I went to a Globe Pub in Chicago to watch the game, and coming home and watch the second half of that game. Man City's in trouble. I mean, they're all it takes is for Chelsea to lose a couple games, and we might even be back into that, because we still have to play them coming up, I think, in April. And there's a slight possibility. I mean, it's going to be tough, because Jose is going to be just fucking parking the bus for the last fucking, he has like a game in hand, so I think they have 11 games left. Including tomorrow. It's 11 games they have left in their season, or 10 possibly. I forget what the final count is. I think they only have 27 games played, so yeah, they have 11 games left. But in all those 11 games, Jose is just gonna fucking park the fucking bus for all those 11 games. But it's a good possibility. As good as our form is right now, especially in the BPL, in the FA Cup, if we go on to win this one, I mean, think of the confidence for the rest of the season. Think of, again, no mountain is too high to climb, and this is the thinking that we have to go through. This is the confidence. This is how a team grows. A team grows confidence that we can win any trophy that is presented to us. But leave your comments down below. Tell me what you think, and hopefully a win on Tuesday, and we'll be partying on Tuesday night and having a good old time. But later.